So I've got a question to ask you today. Can you tell me what you think the most scarce resource or most valuable resource is on planet Earth?
Most valuable money,
No, you're wrong.
food,
Again, you're wrong. Oil wells?
I was gonna say that, yeah.
No, you're wrong. Okay, let me put it differently. What's the most valuable currency in the world?
Not naira.
Naira is valuable. What do you mean? But yeah, tell me, related to my first question, resource, currency, what would you say is the most valuable?
I honestly don't know.
I'll help you out. The most valuable resource in the world is time. The most valuable currency in the world is also time. Time is more valuable than money. It's more powerful than opportunity, right? And it's more limited than anything that you know. Okay? So, as you know, the rich don't get more of time than the poor get. They get the same thing. Every human being on earth receives the exact same time, 24 hours in a day. Of course, that can be disputed, right? You have countries that change time, and some days they get 25 hours, some days they get 23 hours, but generally it's 24 hours. It's just daylight saving, that's what it is. So let's dive in. How then do people get different outcomes from this limited resource? And I'd like you to talk to me about that. What do you think? How come the rich get a different outcome from spending that same limited time than the poor get? What's the cause for this? Is it because they have money to invest in that period? What exactly makes their outcome more interesting, more valuable, more rewarding?
I think, for one, I think it's money. I mean, they're rich. But also, I think that they are very peaceful people. They don't do things just anyhow, I think.
So this is a question of the chicken and egg. Which came first? The riches or the wise allocation of the time? Could it be that it was the wise allocation of the time that brought the riches to them? Or it was because they were rich that they are allocating their time wisely, or that it appears to be that they are allocating their time wisely? I'll tell you what, I think that it is the discipline, like you rightly said, to allocate time wisely, to use time wisely, to make it productive that brings the riches, right? Even the Bible says a slothful man, right, I will tend to poverty. That a little sleep, a little slumber, that's how poverty creeps in, right? So when you use your time wisely, take away procrastination. People spend, I don't know, they have maybe a 10-hour day. They get up in the morning, they go out and spend the day. Maybe we're all guilty of it. You spend maybe 4 hours of that time wasting time scrolling on things. Another maybe 2 hours on unproductive things that are inconsequential, right? You just spend the whole day in different ways. And at the end of the day, the time is gone. You didn't achieve anything. You keep procrastinating the major events and all of that. While the rich are disciplined, they know they have this time. One of the things I've always done, right? That's the way I do. I get up in the morning. The first thing I do, of course, apart from praying and doing all of those things, is to think. I spend at least 2-3 hours of my day thinking and planning my day. Every day I refresh my to-do list. What am I doing this morning? What am I doing today? And I allocate time. 8 to 9, I should be doing this. 9 to 10, I should be doing this. 10 to 11. And during the day, I signpost. Signpost means you go back to where it is and check how far have I gone? Do I need to tweak stuff and all of that, right? And that helps you keep productive. So you can't just go out every day without planning what you ought to achieve that day. That's the first step in time management. And then after planning, you then have to go out to implement based on your plan in order to make it productive. Do you have habits like that? Can you talk to me about how you spend your own time?
So I wouldn't say I don't plan my day, but I don't exactly have like a principle pattern I follow for my day. I mean, I just do my things. I already have my plan in my head. And that's what I was going to ask. Do these plans have to be written out? How does writing them out help in managing your time daily?
So what happens with planning is that you can go back to it to see how you've done with plan. And it's like everything in life. When you say you put it in your head, you tend to forget. The brain is finite. They say the shortest pencil is longer than the longest brain, if you allow me to use that analogy. What happens is your brain will forget, especially when you get busy or distracted. A phone call comes in, before you know it, you spend 1 hour talking to somebody that was not in your plan for the day, right? Someone walks into your office, comes up with something that appears important, but is not in any way urgent. And you spend your whole time dealing with that for the day, and time is gone. But if you write it down, you can go back and signpost. What have I done? What have I achieved? Did I do this? Did I do that? Serves as a reminder. It's conscious. It brings it to your memory from time to time, and it helps you get and stay organized. So I find that when I write, I do more and I achieve more than when I don't write. So I'm constantly writing what to do on a daily basis. Do you want to go into that? Start writing. See how it changes. Look, I tell you, you can lose money and earn it back. You can lose friends and get new ones, right? You can lose opportunities and find others. They are not so easy, but you find. But with time, once it's gone, you cannot rewind it, except if you've got a time clock like in the movies, right? A time machine, and then you go back in time. Well, a lot of us don't get those kind of second chances, right? So time is real wealth once you know how to use it smartly. You know, most people don't value time. And that's because time is invisible. You don't see it. So it's not in your consciousness that I'm losing something or something is wasting away, right? It doesn't make noise when it leaves. It's quiet. It doesn't produce alarm bells when you waste it, like your iPhone would when you're doing Find My iPhone, right? But the results of wasted time, they always show. They will show in time. It will show in stagnation. It will show in delays. It will show in lack of progress, lack of results. You will see it. It may take time, but it will manifest. One of the biggest illusions that we live with today is the illusion of busyness. People always say, I'm busy, I'm overwhelmed. You know, you hear all of these sort of things, right? But really, do they really have so many things to do? Or it's just because they've not prioritized that they believe they have so many things to do? You know, people are running helter-skelter, and then they get home at night, they're super tired, they collapse on the bed, they wake up the next day, and it's rinse and repeat again, right? But hey, you can be busy for 10 years and have nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. And there are some people that will be busy, strategically busy for 6 months, and it changes their entire life. So what do you want to do? How do you want to spend time? Do you want to spend it like successful people that measure time differently than all others? Successful people don't just count money. They count freedom. You can't pay them for their time, right? They count freedom. Time is very valuable to them. They won't give it to you in exchange for nothing. Every time they spend, they count it. Whether it's time with family, whether it's time thinking, like I said, you know, whether it's time for praying, time for planning, whatever it is, right? Successful people always plan. Even time for rest, they allocate it. They don't play with rest because they know that if their body breaks down, it's going to cost them a lot of time and they're going to lose productive time getting better, right? So it's not about how much you have in terms of money. True wealth is not about money. It's not about how much you can spend. It's not about how much you have. True wealth comes from how much control over your time you have. And that's why people talk about being free. They want to run their own business so they can be free. They don't want someone to dictate how they spend their time and all of that. That's what it's about, right? True wealth is in how you control your time, how much control you have over your time. That's why people work so hard, retire early, not because they hate their jobs or the industry they are in, but they just desire freedom. They want to be free.
So can we say that the number one reason why people are stagnant or they don't move forward in whatever they do is because they don't manage their time well?
Well, manage is a generic word and you're correct, but I would say allocate more, right? When you don't allocate your time properly, when you don't focus on things that are important and urgent at the same time, when you don't prioritize your time, when you don't plan your time, all of us know the things we need to be doing. Only if you wrote it down. You have goals at the beginning of the year. You set 1 year goals. Some people have 5 year goals, 10 year goals for their life. I'm not even talking about their company now. Just for their lives, people set this up, right? Now, those tasks need to be broken down into weekly, daily, monthly goals and achievements. And the only way you can measure and allocate time properly is if you then do this same daily tasks. You wake up in the morning, allocate this week, this is what I'm achieving. Today, this is how far I want to go with this. Tomorrow, this is what I want to do. And then, of course, you leave time for miscellaneous. Things will come. And I've told you, time for rest, time for family, all that will come as well. Miscellaneous will come. Time for worship, for your faith will come. But time then to progress in life, time to spend moving forward in your career, moving forward in your goals, you must allocate, you must itemize and outline properly so you can make the most of it and get the best results. So I want to give you a very simple assignment about time management, right? Track your time. When you wake up tomorrow, write down the time you woke up. Let's track how you spend your 24 hours, okay? You can do it retrospectively or you can plan ahead. Retrospectively means from the next day, write what you did the day before. What time did I wake up? How did I spend my time? What did I do next after waking up and all of that? And just track your time. Track the time you had awake, whether it was 16 hours you had awake or 18 hours you had awake, and write down everything you did. Then put them in buckets, which was important, which was urgent, which was time wasting, which was completely unproductive, and then plan your day like that. Or plan ahead and say, this is how I want to spend my time the next day, and then actually stay disciplined to it and just see what difference that makes in your day in terms of productivity, in terms of that feeling of accomplishment and achievement that you would have on that day. And then let's start tracking it from there. And then we can come back and revisit this another time. And we can take questions and see what worked and what didn't work. And we can look at that. Just at the end of the day, be truthful to yourself. How did I do today? How did I waste time? How did I spend time? How many hours did I spend scrolling on things that don't matter, on unproductive issues and all of that? Right? You will see clearly where your time is spent and how you are utilizing time and why you are making as much progress or where you need to make more progress. Thank you.